Welcome back once again here to Town Toyota Center as we prepare for Game 5 of the BCHL's Fred Page Cup Finals here tonight. The visiting Prince George Spruce Kings are in the building as they stand across their blue line. The Wenatchee Wild starters have been introduced to the crowd here. And in just a moment, we'll have the presentation of the national anthems of both Canada and the United States. We'll send it downstairs to the House PA for that.
Rise and remove your hats for the singing of tonight's national anthems. Performing the Canadian and American national anthems, please welcome to the ice the Town Toyota Center's very own Big J.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocky tread glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Big J, Jared Levine, delivering the national anthems for us here at Town Toyota Center here on a Thursday night. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network.
You're listening to Sunny FM, KCSY Twist, your home for Wenatchee Wild Hockey.
Dropping the ceremonial puck is local barber John Holben, who's been a ticket outlet for the Wild for quite some time. One of the best places in town. It's very convenient when you don't want to run all the way over to this side of town and get your tickets. You can pick them up from John at Holben's Barber Shop. So here we go, Game 5. The Fred Page Cup Finals here in Wenatchee, Washington tonight. The Wenatchee Wild with Austin Park patrolling the pipes to my left. The Wild going with the same starters. We didn't get a chance to hear him from Ernie, but it'll be the Sam Hessler line with Dorsey on his right side, Stratton to the left. Zach Galambos and Cooper Zek, the defensive pair. Kyle Johnson centering for Prince George with Ben Brar to his left and Ethan DeYoung over on the right side. Chase Ruddy paired with Jay Karanen, and we are underway, but a quick whistle and a hand pass in the neutral zone. Your plumb perfect between the pipes spotlight. Austin Park getting the start for Wenatchee, 14-4 in this postseason. A 2.32 goals against average and a 904 save percentage. Evan DeBrouwer at the other side, 13-10 with a 2.13 goals against average and a 924 save percentage. More on that in just a couple of moments. But first, the face-off inside the Wild zone. And the puck moved ahead by Galambos over on the left wing wall. Chip back down low, and Galambos will play it there. Flutters it ahead over to Stratton. Stratton's sharp feed is for Dorsey, back into the boots of Hessler. Carried in by Zek, shot, glove save to Brouwer. And he'll hang on for a face-off inside the Prince George zone. Taking a little deeper look at your plumb perfect between the pipes spotlight in this series alone. Austin Park 3-1 with a 1.98 goals against average compared to 2.87 for DeBrouwer. And the save percentages are comparable between the two. Park at .920, DeBrouwer at .918. That's just in this series alone. Puck worked around for Vanderbeek in the right wing corner. He spins, throws it from a tough angle, and a stop made there by DeBrouwer, and he'll hang on. A.J. Vanderbeek has been lethal in this series. Leads both teams in points. He's got a total of 9 points in this series alone, including 5 goals. Lucas Sauter on the left wing sends it down low, and Weatherby wants to play it. Then Vanderbeek comes in, digs it out, tried to snap it. Intended for Sauter. But instead it scoots all the way back down inside the Wenatchee zone, so the Wild have to chase after it. Moved ahead for Weatherby, and then he got caught up in the skates of the back-checking Patrick Kazi. And then to Chase Ruddy, and he'll work it ahead through center and tip deep down inside the Wild zone. Prince George changing on the fly. Puck moved ahead by Weatherby out to center, flicked at by Sauter, but not enough to control. Driven all the way back down into the Wild zone, but that's going to be an icing call against the Spruce Kings. And so we'll head back down to that end of the ice for the ensuing faceoff. Just a minute 22 into this one. Face-off to the right-hand side of DeBrouwer, and it's Sam Morton's line that will do the honors. Morton with Von Unger and Sternberg to the left, pushed back to the left side, and sent by Zach around the wall, and Morton plays it in the right wing corner. Morton hits the brakes to try to elude Ruddy, dishes it back over to Iannone. Iannone tried to spin to the forehand, gets bumped there by Leighton Ahak. Hayward turns it over. Von Unger and Sternberg sends it back around behind the net, and then pinching down Galambos from the right point. Feathers it deep into the corner, turned over again. Von Unger and Sternberg, shot, save made. And DeBrouwer able to cover up on it. Iannone came through looking to try to collect the rebound, and Chase Ruddy tries to ragdoll him a little bit, but nothing further will develop as officials quickly intervene. 18-12 on the clock. Early going here in period number 1. Sam Hessler steps in, takes the draw, gets it into the corner, where it'll be pursued by Stratton. He backhands it to Galambos. One-timer is deflected away. Prince George looking to work back through center and carried in by Jay Karanen on the left side. That shot is blocked away and played by Stratton over in the left wing corner. Spruce Kings try to chip it out front, and they do. Shoulder save made by Park. Hessler swats at it. Gets tangled up again, and then Cooper Zek will dig it out. Zek up on the left side gets tripped up, and there'll be a penalty coming against Prince George. As back to play at Karanen in his own end, a tripping call, and we'll see a power play for Wenatchee for the first time in quite a while. In the last 119 minutes of gameplay coming into tonight, the Wild had a grand total of 10 seconds of power play time. They'll get an opportunity here as Ben Brar goes to the box. 2 minutes and 25 seconds is the time of the penalty. So Brar in the box. And Wenatchee with a man advantage. Here's Weatherby in. Shot save made. Rebound. Morton's shot. Stuffed into the crease but covered up by DeBrouwer. And that'll be secured there and held on. And a face-off to follow inside the Prince George zone. So tripping the call on Brar. Wild on the power play. Wenatchee's power play 3 for 10 in this series. Weatherby wins the draw back to Zek, right point. Over to Morton on the right wall. He drifts, waits, midpoint for Zek. Back over to Morton, top of the near circle. He looks, feeds it down low, tipped by Weatherby, backdoor, and score! Zach Galambus swats home the knuckling puck. And the Wild cash in on the power play. They'll lead it 1-0. For Galambus, his 8th goal of the playoffs and 3rd of this series. So a power play goal, and the puck sent back into the Wenatchee zone quickly. Spun around and fired toward the net, but blocked by Hessler. Hessler's backhand dish is for Stratton. He gets bumped in front of the Spruce Kings bench. Comes bouncing down. Picked up over on the right wing. Long shot, fended away by the blocker of Austin Park. Sent down low, played by Sasaki on the inboards. Over to Demon. Demon advances up through center, cuts through the neutral zone to his left. Dangles into the zone, got tripped up as he came into the zone, but flipped back through center by Prince George and handled by Sasaki. Then to Demon. And now Souter, who carries it off the right wing wall, gets it in across the line. Weatherby was there, but it's swatted away from him. And Patrick Kazi comes back the other direction, but that opportunity is knocked out of harm's way. And the centering feed there, broken up off the glove hand of Ahak. He'll play it out at center and drive it right back in. And bumped back behind the net was Park, and fans react. Up against the near side boards, battle continues, and as it squirts loose, Lucas Souter will find the handle on it, and he'll launch it up out through center. Comes bouncing down, chased down by Vanderbeck. Chase Ruddy gets to it first and sweeps it over for Liam Watson-Braun. That's kicked out into the neutral zone and then swatted through down to the Wild zone where it'll be handled by Galambus. Galambus over for Vanderbeck. And in open ice, puck picked up. Ethan DeYoung carries it on the near side. Gets his pocket picked, stolen from Galambus, or by Galambus. He got it to Vanderbeck and then ahead to Von Ungern Sternberg. Now Morton. Morton cuts into the zone, cuts to his left. His shot deflects back to Zek. And as he swats at it, they're going to blow that for a high stick. So with 15-13 on the clock, we get a whistle and a face-off. Wenatchee leading 1-0 on the Zach Galambus goal. Power play tally. And the Wild up 1-0. In front of the Spruce Kings bench. Swept over for Dylan Anhorn, and the Spruce Kings defenseman advances on the left side. Cuts in front, but that one gets taken away. August Von Ungern Sternberg knocks it through the neutral zone. Karanen chases it back down in his own end as the fans implore their team to let's go. Moved ahead for Brar, and that's tipped down inside the Wild zone. Park came out to play it, scooted past him, but Zek gets there and knocks it ahead for Wozniak. Wozniak tried to chip it off the board, gets hacked back down low on the right side. Picked up there by Galambus from behind his net. He'll leave it for Sveikovsky. He'll double back and try his luck working up the other wall. To Zek, and now Iannone on the right side, and he'll punch it off the right wing boards. Sveikovsky chases after it. It's ridden into the end wall, and that allows Hayward to pick it back up for Prince George. Lost to Demon, though, and then Josh Arnold, who sends it right back deep inside the Spruce King zone off to my right. Wenatchee in the home white uniforms as Jackson Wozniak throws a big check and draws a roar from the crowd here. Leighton Ahak for the Spruce Kings comes up through center, cuts to his left. Poke checked away to the right wing wall. Patrick Kazi is there. He loses it to Stratton, who uses the glass to launch it out through center. Dustin Mans sends a backhand offering over on the near wing. Dorsey throws a check, bouncing puck. Ben Poisson tried to offer it towards the net, but taken away instead by Demon, and then up to Souter. And from the left wing boards, he'll loft it in deep. DeBrouwer sweeps it around for Ruddy. Ruddy bumped there, got stolen away, and then trying to sweep it to the point was Weatherby. It ended up coming back out to center. Kazi will end up with it, and he takes off on the right side. Tries to go inside out around Nicholas Kent. The puck will trickle into the corner, work back up the wall. Vanderbeck digs it out and sets it up for Souter. Nice cut to his left side, just cross-corner dump in, chased down by Weatherby. And then Vanderbeck sends it back around behind the net. Von Ungern-Sternberg has it left wall. Pipes it back to the point where it's played by Zek. Hacked across into the face-off circle, but knocked away. And DeJong comes back through center. Chased down on the back check alertly by Von Ungern-Sternberg, and the Wild regain control. Pass across was broken up by Brar for a moment. Stolen back. The Wild enter the zone. Played by Morton, and he'll drive it hard around. 1-0 Wild lead at 12:40 to go. First period of play, Game 5, BCHL Fred Page Cup Finals. Played by Zek, chased around behind his net by DeJong. Sends it off the boards, out through center, backhanded up the left wing, and trying to hop through was Morton. That'll get punched off the boards in deep. Wild change. As Prince George looks to work up through center. Pass was for Brar, but that got broken up. Dug out by Morton, trying to put it into the lane for Stratton. Just out of his reach. Ahak was able to get it down deep into the right wing corner. Sent back up the near side and tipped out to center, but the Wild are there to control it. Hessler over for Demon. Demon ahead for Stratton, and that gets tipped down inside the Spruce King zone, and they'll try to reset there. Way over on the far wing was Chongmin Lee, but they couldn't get a pass to him. And we end up with a hand pass called in the neutral zone with 11:57 on the clock. And Wenatchee with a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Wenatchee Wild playoff hockey tonight on Sunny FM, the greatest hits of all time. And also hockeytv.com. Tape delay coverage being presented by NCW Live Channel. Glad to have you along tonight, however you chose to dial in. Zach Golambus cashing in on an early power play. And that's the difference in the game right now as the Wild lead at 1-0. Slava Demon looks to flutter it ahead. He gets broken up back the other way. There's a shot and a save made by Park. Rebound. Shot and then another offering from the left point. Patted away by Park into the corner. Jared Hovde. Then back to Ruddy. That shot blocked on the way through. And it's played by Hessler. That went off the skate of Dorsey though, but as he goes the length of the ice, Dorsey not close enough to the red line, and thus icing is the call. So face-off retreats back into the Wenatchee zone off to our left. 11.5 to go here in your opening period. The Alberta Junior Hockey League has the night off. They'll resume tomorrow. Also, the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League will pick up action tomorrow. Manitoba does have action tonight. We'll look at that a little bit later on. There's Kazi with a shot, and that went off the pipe on the blocker's side. Off the inside of the post, low blocker side, and then careened away and handled by Wenatchee. Back through center is played by Hessler. He'll gently dump it in. Puck slapped ahead through center, and then trucked is Ben Brar as Souter put a body on him. Now Vanderbeck into the zone right side. Curl and drag. Throws it in front for Weatherby, and he couldn't get the shot off. Loose puck side of the net. And DeJong tries to play it, but Weatherby fights for it. Instead, it'll be controlled by Prince George, and they're able to knock it out to center. Waiting for it there was Golambus. And a couple of whacks, and it finds its way back in his zone. Swatted by Vanderbeck over to Souter. Cuts to his left. He slings it just low and wide. Picked up by the Spruce Kings as they try to work it up the boards. Batted down. Shot by Vanderbeck. And a chest save made by DeBrouwer. Ahak grabs the loose rebound and takes off on the right wing with it. Gains the red and pitchforks it in deep. Austin Park comes out and snaps it around. Von Ungern-Sternberg to Weatherby. And that feed misses the mark. That's icing against Wenatchee with 10:08 to go here in period number 1. And a huge crowd on hand here tonight, enjoying the festivities thus far. The Galambos goal assisted by Souter and Weatherby. So Weatherby, who had a 12-game point streak snipped in Game 4, gets back on the horse and picks up an early helper in this one. Hayward with a centering offering, broken up by Zach. And then ahead for Vanderbeek, who gains the red line and launches it in deep. Karams off the backboards into the corner. Von Ungern Sternberg is there. He's met by the back-checking Ruddy. Prince George lobbing it out to center, gloved by Kent. Dumped back into the zone. Anhorn works it ahead through center. Broken up and then played by Iannone. Iannone over on the left side. Drops it off for Stratton. Back to the point, Modry. That shot hits a body on the way through and rattles into the right corner. Be chased down there by Stratton. Stratton sends it around for Morton. Tried to sweep it out front for Iannone. Got pushed back down low. Iannone finds it on the backhand, twists it for Kent. Hopped over his blade, but he'll recover, swinging it to Modry. And from the left wall, Modry will drive it in. DeBrouwer stops it back behind the twine. Sends it over for Chase Ruddy. Then back ahead, Poisson can't get it to lay down. Hessler will send it off the right wing boards deep into the Prince George zone. DeBrouwer, the goaltender, sweeps it back up and held in by Sasaki at the point. Now to Hessler, his shot. Save made, loose puck. Swatting at it was Stratton, and Anhorn wants to take Stratton to the glass, but linesmen quickly intervene, and nothing further will develop. 8:49 to go, period one. And Wenatchee with a 1-0 lead on the Zach Galambos power play goal, which came at the 2:50 mark here of your first period. We'll step away for half a minute. Wenatchee up 1-0. Game 5, BCHL Fred Page Cup Finals on your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network. We'd like to thank our prime sponsor of the BCHL Fred Page Cup Finals here in Wenatchee. It's Central Washington Asphalt. Quality you can trust. Look them up online. Central Washington Asphalt. Proud to sponsor your Wenatchee Wild and the Fred Page Cup Finals. Lucas Souter, right wing wall, sends it down low. Liam Watson-Braun works it back up. Tipped in front by Vanderbeek. And wide, he'll pick it back up. Sends it around. And back behind, handled there by Weatherby. Thrown in front for Souter, tipped on net. And DeBrouwer covers up on it. Well, they tried to put a check on Weatherby back behind the net, but he absorbed that. To the delight of the fans here in the building with 8:31 to go here in period one. I imagine if you're Prince George and you're coming into this game, you realize that Wenatchee's going to come at you with a push, and you want to just try to weather the first 10 minutes if you can and try to take the crowd out of it. That's their, I would imagine, their MO. It's a 1-0 hockey game now, though, and here comes Ethan DeYoung up on the left side. Tries to go wide on Zach. He does, but couldn't get the shot off, and now fluttered ahead by the Wild. Back out to center. Twisted across and then snapped back ahead. Turned over, though, and Stratton will pick it up, and he enters his own. Leaves it for Dorsey. Dorsey cuts to his right, slings it in right across the goal mouth. Left wall, it's going to be played there by Morton. He hits the brakes, a spinorama on the backhand. Curls high slot, backhand dish, left wall. There's Von Ungern Sternberg, and he just lifted it high. Off the glass, back over. Morton plays it down low to Iannone. And we'll get a whistle. They're going to say that puck went up into the mesh as it came around the glass. And so the referee, who stands out in the neutral zone, making that call. So that brings the stoppage. And we'll get a face-off with 7:42 to go here in period one. So your officials tonight, Jared Bowman and Anthony, I don't know how he pronounces it, Guzzo, Guzzo. Linesmen are Eric Freeman and Daniel Spohr, as that puck pops up over the glass and out of play. 7:37 to go, first period. They'll face off on the center ice logo. Blake Hayward, who's been very much a spark plug, as he's scored 4 of the 9 goals. that the Spruce Kings have registered in this series. Demon plays it, throws it around back behind the net for Sasaki. Then ahead to Morton, now Iannone. Iannone bangs it off the right wall. Von Ungern Sternberg chases it down. Guides it around over to the far corner. Hayward is able to get it out to center. Chongmin Lee picks it up and then throws it in deep. Played by Austin Park, who wraps it right back up the wall. Von Ungern Sternberg wraps a long pass ahead, and it's played by Arnold. He's got Sveikovsky in, and the tip on net steered aside easily by DeBrouwer, back down low. Sveikovsky tried to get it to Arnold, who hopped past him. Kent at the left point helps keep it in the zone. Liam Watson-Braun plays it, chips it up the boards, and that gets hacked by Kazi out through center. Nolan Welsh chases after it, but Slava Demon gets there first. Demon loops around behind his own net, sends it ahead for Sveikovsky. That pass ahead was intended for Wozniak, got broken up. Anhorn plays it back in his own end for the Spruce Kings. And he'll take off as the Wild defend the goal to my left. Prince George looking to work it ahead, but that pass errant. It's played by Modry. He snaps it ahead, and Arnold will twist it in deep as he peels off on a change. Wozniak fighting for it in the right corner, comes back to the point. Kent dishes it across, and it hopped over Vanderbeck's blade. Vanderbeck behind the back dish for Weatherby. Weatherby in the left corner. Drops it off for a cycling Vanderbeck. He rolls it in front, and advancing was Souter, but he got deflected out of his way just before he could make contact with it. Ethan DeYoung comes back into the zone. He gets tangled up in the corner. Outnumbered by the back-checking Wild and handled by Lucas Souter from behind his net. He waits there for a moment, and then Weatherby helps, swats it off the boards. That thing's going to go the length of the ice, though, and they're going to negate icing as Ahak sandbagging a little bit, coming back on the touch-up. So Ahak picks it up and comes ahead through center, knocked down by a glove hand of Galambus, and Stratton tried to get at it. Bounces back over to Zach, and he'll spin away. Backhand dish ahead, and then Stratton sweeps it down into the zone. Well, they're saying that he must, I suppose that's what they're saying, is that he didn't connect. He didn't connect cleanly, but it sure sounded like he connected with it at least a little bit. Face-off will be to the blocker side of Park, back inside the Wenatchee zone. 5:17 to go. Off the draw, Poisson swings it over the right side for Liam Watson-Braun. He fires it in deep. Chongmin Lee picks it up, curls around, throws it back to the left point for Anhorn. Swept over to Watson-Braun. That shot deflects up over the outstretched glove of Park, and Hessler rings it off the glass, and it's back out through center. Handled by Anhorn back in his own end. Pushed ahead for Hayward, and then back across over to the right side. Spruce Kings step up. They'll launch it in. Peel off on a change as we're under 5 minutes to go. Left side, Hessler works it to Von Ungern Sternberg, and his tip will find its way deep inside the Prince George zone off to our right. 1-0 Wenatchee leading it. 4.5 on the clock. Pressed up on the end wall. Von Ungern Sternberg trying to kick it along, and eventually came out with it. Puts it back down low, and Iannone will fight for it. Gets it to Von Ungern Sternberg. He gets tackled there, and a penalty coming. And it's going to be a tripping call, and the Wild are going to go back on the power play. 15:41, time of the call. Chase Ruddy is the guilty party. And so for Wenatchee, their second power play chance of the game, they're 1 for 1, and they are 4 for 11 on the series. To the right-hand side of DeBrouwer, puck locked up on the skates of Morton. And it trickles toward the crease area, and DeBrouwer comfortably covers up on it. Settles for a face-off inside the Prince George zone off to my right. So Weatherby will take the draw, stands across from Poisson, gets it to Morton, now over for Zek. Zek, the left-hander, committed to Ferris State, leaves it for Morton. He's in down low, shot and a save made, rebound, shot blocked away. Galambos had a whack at it, And in traffic, it just didn't find its way through. Wild re-enter the zone after regrouping. It's a Souter on the right wing. Souter dishes it around for Weatherby. Weatherby up high for Galambus, then down low to Weatherby. Weatherby back around behind, slaps it out front, but then it's punched away. As Souter was right there in the crease looking for an opportunity, but meanwhile, the goaltender's lost his helmet, and so we'll get a whistle. So he'll adjust his strap. And DeBrouwer puts himself back together. That's how they do it. If a goaltender loses his headgear, and that's a smart rule. If a goaltender loses his headgear, just stop everything. It's not worth it. And Jacques Plante called and said, hey, it's about time you guys come up with that rule. Vanderbeck flutters it off the right wing boards. Smacked around as Stratton pushed it a little further. Eventually cleared. Then Brar's going to chase after it, but Park comes out and backhands it up along the near side. Handled by Demon. Demon cuts into the zone, throws it over the left wing. Got it to Sasaki. Clearing attempt is successful. It comes back out to center, and Demon will play it there. Demon over to Stratton. Stratton snaps it off the right boards. DeBrouwer can't get it to slow down. And it gets turned over and played by Stratton. Over for Vanderbeck. Vanderbeck cycles on the left wall. Top of the circle, sharply down low for Stratton. Shot in front and a tip attempt by Dorsey. Knocked away by DeBrouwer. Fluttered out front. Nolan Welsh picks it up, and he had DeYoung knifing up the middle and then chose to hang on to it. Sends a cross-rink pass. And it's going to be picked up in the corner and then thrown all the way back out to center. Dylan Anhorn will play it there for the Spruce Kings. And the final seconds tick off on the Ruddy penalty. They're back at full strength. Kazi chips it off the left wall. Skirts around back behind the net looking for help. Spins and just throws it off the wall down low. Dustin Manns finds it. And then he spins it back around the other direction. Kazi will chase after it. Kazi throws it up to the point. Snapped over to Anhorn left point. Back across for Kazi. That shot sent down low and actually blocked by Manns, his own player, and now Kazi has it on the right side. Angles it off the boards, back to the point. Snapped over for Anhorn. Anhorn planted on the wall by Iannone, but the puck stays in his zone. Manns fights for it. Iannone had lost his stick. Puck pressed against the wall on the half boards, near side wall. And we get a whistle with 1:35 left to go here in period number one. 1-0, Wenatchee leads it. Zach Galambus, a power play goal. 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the opening period. And that's where we sit. Game 5 of the Fred Page Cup Finals. Wild lead the series 3-1. Prince George staving off elimination with a win at the Rolling Mix Concrete Arena up in Prince George 2 nights ago. Nicholas Kent wraps it off the wall and got held in by Ruddy for a moment, then back out again. Handled by Souter, and he muscles it off the boards in deep. Played by DeBrouwer, and he rings it up along the wall. Hopping around is Weatherby to keep it down deep into the corner. Gets kicked away by Arnold. Then Modry wants to get a help out, but then a little fluttering offering by Weatherby instead. Goes wide of the net off the glass. Jared Hovde picks it up there for the Spruce Kings. Pulls it back around behind his net, and stolen by Souter. In front! Shot and a save made to Brouwer, as Josh Arnold denied from right between the hash marks. Puck squirted out from down low. Nice forecheck work by Wenatchee. And Arnold found it right there on his tape, right between the hash marks. He let a quick wrister fly, but DeBrouwer came up with a huge stop to keep it a 1-0 hockey game. Then Brouwer on the near side for Prince George, launches it ahead. Got broken up by Galambus, and that'll get launched back the other direction. And they're going to negate icing because it took a weird turn into the corner. Didn't really cross the goal line. Launched back out to center. Sent by Zek across for Galambus. And went off his skate, and then Anhorn fired it deep into the Wenatchee zone. Played by Zek back behind the net over to Galambus near side. He comes out, moves it ahead. Not quite out of the zone, though. Dorsey comes in, throws the body, and Hessler comes off and banks it ahead for Stratton. He's got help with Zek going up the middle, but he can't quite get there in time to collect the puck and send it across for him. And that allows Prince George to work it ahead. Brar tried to get it out of the zone. He just did. As stepping into the lane was Zek. Zek tried to hold it at the midpoint, but it just came out across the line. And thus, as he carried it back in, offside called against Wenatchee. 2.8 seconds left on the clock here in your first period of play. Coming up during the intermission, we'll take a look at your total travel out-of-town scoreboard as that face-off sends the puck rolling towards DeBrouwer, which he easily covers up. And we come to the end of our first period of play. As the fans give the Wild a nice hearty round, appreciative of the effort in that first period. Couple of great looks, great chances. Either direction, really. The best chance for Prince George, the shot that got by Park on the blocker side and rang off the post. And then a couple of good chances back the other direction for Wenatchee. But it remains a 1-0 score after 20 minutes of play. We'll step away for a break, and we'll be back with a recap of the first period, total travel out-of-town scoreboard, and more on the way on your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network. Meanwhile, the noise behind me here, you can tell the Wenatchee Wild are coming back out onto the ice as we get ready for the start of the second period here in just a couple of moments. And while we have a moment here, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification here on your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network.
You're listening to Sunny FM, KCSY Twist, your home for Wenatchee Wild Hockey.
In this period, the Wild will defend the goal to my right. Austin Park putting in the shift down at that end, and Evan DeBrouwer off to my left. Of course, Austin Park, a North American Hockey League veteran, played last year for the Minot Minotauros. So play underway. Cooper Zek swings it over for Golambus on the right side. Sharp feedback ahead for Zek, fluttered ahead and slapped toward the net by Hessler, but offside will be whistled against Wenatchee. And so the face-off comes back out into the neutral zone just 10 seconds in. So what hangs in the balance? Well, a championship, for one. If the Wild win tonight, then they will win the league championship. And if Prince George wins tonight, then both teams are hopping on a bus and headed to Prince George for Game 6, which would be played on Saturday night. Puck sent back down inside the Prince George zone. Spruce Kings play it there. Ruddy flushed out from behind the net. Steps out through center, cuts across, chased down by Dorsey. Sends it in towards Park, and he'll steer it into the net. Golambus moves it over. Banked off the right wall, just out of the reach of Weatherby. Now Weatherby's going to hop around, and he's got help. Over to Stratton, but the pass got broken up by the back-checking Liam Watson-Braun. Tried to saucer it through, but well defended. And then moved back up the near side. Patrick Kazi tries to send it in. Welsh over to help. Puck in and out across the line. Offside is called. Boy, a great opportunity there, and Stratton was lining up. Boy, he was in position. He was waiting for the one-time blast. And Weatherby tried to saucer it across to him, but Spruce Kings able to defend it well enough to prevent that from getting across. Slava Demon plays it in his own end, moves it ahead, batted down by a high stick. Play's going to continue as Sasaki handles it. Sasaki worked it ahead, and Weatherby helps muscle it a little further. Swept by Vanderbeck, won't go deep enough for icing. And to the end wall, picked up and played by Prince George fluttered down low, sent just wide by Souter as he got set up nicely by Vanderbeek. Sent down the left boards, played now by Morton. Morton spins, works it down low. Vanderbeek has it in the right corner. Wanted to roll it. Instead, he's going to leave it for Souter. Souter wanted to chisel it out front, lost it to Welsh, but then recovers, feeding it over for Morton. Morton pressed by Ruddy, then Welsh to help out. Bangs it off the wall, and it's out to center. Sasaki to Demon. Wild re-enter the zone. Here's Demon on the left wing. Throws it back across. Tried to hit the trailer for Iannone, but unsuccessful. Now Patrick Kazi back the other direction. Kazi gets toppled by Zek, and then Iannone back to help. And Zek collects the puck. Cooper Zek curls back, pick set by the referee. Inadvertently, obviously. Played by Zek, who will launch it into the opposite corner. And the Spruce Kings will chase it down, play in their own end. The move ahead is for Chongmin Lee, dished over to the left side for Hayward. Hayward tries to get in around. Broken up in front, shot sent just wide by Jared Hovde. Boy, a broken play for a moment there, almost giving a huge opportunity as Von Ungern Sternberg lost his stick and then Pele's it into the right side. Slapped back around the left corner. Hessler is there, gives it across. Played by Stratton. He walks up the wall, waits, looks, feeds it over to the far point. Shot into the glove of DeBrouwer. And he'll hang on, and we'll get a face-off inside the Prince George zone with 17:02 on the clock. Second period, Wenatchee leading 1-0. The only goal of the game, a power play goal from Zach Golambus. And it came 2 minutes and 50 seconds into that first period. To the left-hand side of DeBrouwer, that's where the face-off will transpire. And off the draw, Souter has it on the backhand. Dished it out front. Rattles wide. Demon comes down from the left point. Back down low for Weatherby. His shot, save made. Rebound. Picked up and played by Souter. Thrown back Demon left point. Demon bangs it off the wall down low for Weatherby. Weatherby chisels it out into the slot area. Kyle Johnson able to pitchfork it out to center. And then it'll be hacked by Ethan DeYoung. Knocked away by the back-checking Weatherby. Kyle Johnson into the corner. Ben Berard digs it out. Shot from a tough angle and a save made by Park. And the rebound kicked aside and thrown back out to center. That one may have surprised Park a little bit, but he was able to knock it aside and then get it out of harm's way. Demon picks it up back in his own end. Wild moving right to left. Set ahead for Souter. He's going to dump it in deep and peel off on a change. Fresh on the ice, Iannone pursues. From behind the net, Ahak guides it out through center. Swatted by the glove hand of Modry and then moved a little further along for Morton. Dished back across. There's Poisson. Tries to go wide on Kent. Unsuccessful. Park swats it away. And then Poisson dished it back across. Morton is there. And he'll come off the wall with it. There's Sam Morton coming up through center. Into the zone. Hops in. His shot. Sent it just wide. Rebound. Sent into the corner. Smacked by a high stick, but played by Modry next. Play will continue. Sent around. Von Ungern Sternberg back behind the twine. Battles for it. Pushes it off the wall, and it's handled by Iannone. Iannone over to the right corner. Guides it back to the right point for Kent. His wrister gloved by DeBrouwer. And he hangs on as Sam Hessler was standing right there trying to collect whatever might be laying around. Nothing, as it turns out, with 15:14 on the clock here in period number 2. So another face-off coming inside the Prince George zone. And it's back to Dorsey, who sends it down low on the right side for Stratton. He curls, tosses it around behind the net. Checked there is Watson Braun, but Chongmin Lee gets the loose puck. Sends it over, but broken up by Dorsey. He knocks it back down to the corner. Picked up and chipped across on the wall. Penalty might be against Wenatchee here, I'm not sure. And that's Stratton. That's going to go to the box, so our first power play of the night for Prince George. And it comes at the 5:11 mark of the second period. So we'll move everything down to the Wenatchee zone for the faceoff. Wild carry it quickly out through center. Shuffled ahead from Souter for Weatherby. Just out of his reach, though, and then Johnson sends a lead pass ahead, but it's out of the reach of Brar, and that allows Golambus to deposit it way deep back inside the Prince George zone. Forecheck pressure from Weatherby. Knocked it away from Ahak for a moment. Then Ahak spins away, gets back up, and comes up the near side with it. Dishes for Mans, then down to Ethan DeYoung in the right corner. He'll wrap it off the glass over to the left boards. And stepping in there is Von Ungern Sternberg. Comes away and gears it back out to center. Minute 15 left, power play time for the Spruce Kings. Pass ahead is carried in by Brar and dropped off to Mans at the right point. Feathered down low, and Golambus leaves it for Morton. Morton hits the brakes, and he'll drive it off the left wing wall, length of the ice. DeBrouwer lost it, pushed it away, and then Arnold was right there, and he'll just cycle it down low. And pursuing it is going to be Hessler. Hessler over in the right corner will keep it pressed there. How come there are 6 guys out there? Yeah, way too many guys. They had 6 guys on that battle in the corner. I had to rub my eyes and check twice. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. There were 6 guys for sure. It wasn't even close. All 6 guys were battling. And so that's going to wipe out the remainder of the final 37 seconds of power play time. That wasn't even close. So a bench minor for too many men on the ice. We'll skate 4-on-4 for 37 seconds, and then Wenatchee will end up with an abbreviated power play. Off the draw, handled by Jay Karanen, the defenseman for the Spruce Kings. Sets up behind his own net as Prince George attacks from left to right. Here's Ethan DeYoung cutting to the right, gets up through center, broken up, and Von Ungern Sternberg flies back the other direction. Gets a step in around, hits the brakes instead, dish back across, and it was for Sasaki, but the pass just behind him, and that allows Ethan DeYoung to chase off on the left wing, but he gets ridden into the corner by Sasaki. And the puck tied up in the corner. Handled there, though, by Johnson. Shot blockered away by Park. Prince George trying to spin it out front once again. Johnson curls, looking for a shooting lane. Shot blocked by Demon. And here come the Wild. It's a 3-on-2. Von Ungern leaves it for Demon. Demon down the left side. Goes back around behind the net. Up top to the point for Zach. Now Vanderbeck. He's in. He shoots. And off a body. Rockets off the glass. Ruddy can't clear. Poked at, and it bounces out through center. Welsh is going to chase after, but he can't get in wide on Demon. Goes back around behind the net, and controlled there by Jasper Weatherby. He'll turn it back for Zek, and he'll set up. 40 seconds left of power play time for the Wild at this point, and they lead 1-0. Wenatchee attacking from right to left. Zek ahead for Souter. Souter into the zone for Golambus. Back to Souter, backhander, and a save made to Brouwer. Into the corner. Souter up top for Zek. Midpoint shot, punched away by the blocker of DeBrouwer again. Handled by Golambus, left point Zek, sharply over to Morton. Morton, backdoor Golambus, couldn't pull the trigger, he'll work it back up top for Zek. Down low, Weatherby to Morton, shot, save made DeBrouwer, he'll hang on. And with 9 seconds left in the man advantage, he'll get a face-off in the Prince George zone. 11:35 to go, second period, Wild lead it 1-0. Game 5 of the Fred Page Cup Finals. Glad to have you along with us tonight. Sunny FM, the greatest hits of all time. Home of Dave in the Morning and, of course, HockeyTV.com. And tape delayed coverage presented by NCW Life Channel. Sam Hessler to take the draw. Wins it cleanly back to Golambus. One-touch passes for Zek. Back to Golambus. Top of the near circle. Threaded through backdoor Hessler. Up high for Zek. And then Golambus again. Shot. Save made by DeBrouwer. And he will hang on. And that killed off the remainder of the penalty. Sam Onzai was serving it. So back to a full complement of 5 skaters aside, and the face-off pending inside the Prince George zone. Prince George in their road blue sweaters with the red pants, red numbers, white trim. Down in the corner, Karanen whaps it around, played by Dorsey. Dorsey works in the corner, comes all the way around to the near wall, and backhands it down low for Arnold. Arnold leaves it to Hessler. Hessler cycling back up top right point. Galambos to Zek. Shot tipped on the way through, and a rebound cleared but not out. Ben Poisson finds it, and he'll flutter it up the wall, but that's going to be fought for by Galambos, and then twisted down low. Falling was Kazi, and there's going to be a penalty on Galambos. Well, they'll call it a hook. But Prince George is going to get another power play chance here. .907 time of the call. Galambos for hooking is how it'll go in the books. And so the puck into the corner. Inside the Wenatchee zone, it gets dug out. And Demon will play it. Moves it on the right side for Weatherby. 3-on-2 is a wild end. Shot by Weatherby. And DeBrouwer makes the chest save and hangs on. But a good transition on the penalty kill there for Wenatchee. Sprinting out of their own zone and shorthanded, creating an odd man rush. It results not only in the time killed on that rush and the scoring chance, but then you get the residual offensive zone draw, which helps run a little more time. As the Spruce Kings play it out of their own end. On the left side, touch pass, give and go. Now to Kazi, poked off his blade by Demon. And Von Ungern-Sternberg wanted it, but lost it to Morton. Morton ends up punching it down inside the Prince George zone. They'll set up back behind their own net. Liam Watson-Braun ahead for Kazi. Kazi comes up the right boards, gets it himself off the right side, works his way around back behind the net, loses it to Morton. And Morton up on the right wing, able to muscle it out through center and hangs on to the puck. Just dumps it off the right wing boards. He'll peel off on a change. And Hayward will collect from behind his own net. Shakes over to the left side, advances into the zone. Thinks about it, runs into Modry. And then picked up by Zek, and Zek will ring it off the glass. And that's all the way back down into the Prince George zone where DeBrouwer will leave it for Ahak. Ahak picks it up, forecheck pressure applied by Weatherby. And now Weatherby will come off on a change. And the pass ahead up through center, poke checked away and stolen by Souter. Souter comes in front, shot, save made, rebound, backhander, and a save made again by DeBrouwer. Zek got the backhander, put it right off DeBrouwer's body. Huge shorthanded opportunity there for Wenatchee, but it remains a 1-goal lead in favor of the Wild. Penalty now over as Prince George enters his own left side. Down to Johnson, his centering feed broken up. Zek swings it over for Arnold, and here's Arnold. Sprints up the left side, in, shot, and a save made by DeBrouwer. He takes a look and ends up getting the whistle. That brings us to our media timeout with 8:39 to go, second period. It's Game 5 of the Fred Page Cup Finals. Wild lead the series 3-1. They lead the game 1-0. We're back in half a minute. This is your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network. So welcome back to Town Toyota Center as the Wenatchee Wild battle the Prince George Spruce Kings tonight, renewing their acquaintance from a year ago when they met in the opening round of the Mainland Division playoffs. Face off inside the Spruce King zone, played by Souter. He works back behind the net, still with it, drops it off for cycling Vanderbeck. Comes around, rips it off the crossbar, back over the right side, held in by Sasaki. Down to Souter. Souter at the half boards. Weatherby gets it back down low to Vanderbeck. His shot just ripped wide. Back to the left point. There's Demon. He sends it down low. Weatherby fights for it in the corner. Back down low for Souter, but Dustin Mans comes up with it. Can't get it out of the zone. Got held in by Vanderbeek. And Karanen curls back around behind his own net, and he'll try his luck on the near wing with it. Fluttered ahead, went off a body of Von Unger and Sternberg. Weatherby back the other way. He's got help. Shot, and it gets fluttered over in the far corner. Picked up there by Vanderbeek. Cycle down low to Weatherby. Weatherby uses the body to protect. Twists it back over. Intended for Von Unger and Sternberg. And now Vanderbeek got it. Back over to the right side, but it hopped past Morton. And Kazi chases, but Morton gets there first. Morton back the other way. Knifes into the zone, cuts across. He's through. He gets tangled up, and there's a penalty coming against Prince George. And the Wild will go on a man advantage, a slashing call. And it's a power play Wild coming up. Time of the penalty, 12 minutes, 27 seconds. Slashing is the call. Wild get the man advantage. Buck across for Stratton as he moves to his right. Throws it back to Sasaki. From the right point, down low to Stratton. He curls back behind the net. Angles it off the wall for Vanderbeek. Left boards to Demon, then back to Vanderbeek again. Cycles it for Stratton, then back to Demon. Demon top of the far circle. Sasaki thinks about it, waits, curls, looks. Shot tipped just wide. Pushed across. As Dorsey got it over to Vanderbeek, he gets toppled from behind by Anhorn. Battle continues in the corner. Dugout squirts into the slot area, but that'll be covered up by DeBrouwer. Watson Braun takes a swat at Dorsey, but nothing will come from it. $1:20 left to power play time, and 6:53 on the clock. Second period, Wenatchee with a 1-0 lead. Face-off is going to be to the left-hand side of DeBrouwer. And off the draw, handled by Zek. He flicks it to Morton, back to Zek, sharply down low for Weatherby. Tried to pitch it across for Souter, broken up. And then hacked out through center successfully by DeYoung. Wild will pick it up back in their own end. Wenatchee moving from right to left here in this second period. Here's Sam Morton, who cuts across into the zone, works over to the far point, bangs it off the wall, try to get it down low. Ahak tangles it up though. Then DeYoung comes in, pressed against the boards, 45 seconds left in the man advantage. Launched down through center, and Zek will chase after it as DeYoung's on his tail. Back to support is Golambos. He's got the only goal in the game tonight. Ahead for Morton, and then try to get it back for Weatherby. Hits a skate, Wild regroup, and then re-enter. Left side, here's Souter. Gets an angle, he comes in, back around, wrap around, it's loose in front. Shot punched just over the crossbar by Hessler. Got his stick tangled up as he was taking the shot. Now it's tied up in the corner over to the left of DeBrouwer. 10 seconds left in the power play. And eventually the whistle blows, and we'll get a face-off. 9 seconds left to power play time, but an offensive zone draw coming for Wenatchee. Souter tried to wrap it around. He had DeBrouwer, maybe thought he might have had him beat as he curled around, but the puck ended up deflecting right out up the middle. And Hessler was there trying to get it upstairs, but a stick was thrust forward into the shooting lane. And it deflected just up over the crossbar. So the face-off, and it comes towards DeBrouwer. He just covers up on it. Takes 3 seconds off the remaining power play time, so 6 seconds left in the penalty to Karanen. Off the draw into the near corner, Von Unger and Sternberg hops in, pushes it back down low for Iannone. He tangles up with Liam Watson Braun, and then it's back to the left wall. Kazi can't clear, was held in by Demon. Anhorn spins and twists it off the wall through center, back into the Wild zone where it's played by Sasaki. Then to Demon, ahead for Hessler in open ice, but he can't get around Chong Min Lee. And then Sasaki's clear, hops up into the Prince George bench. 5:12 to go, second period, 1-0 Wild on top. So the Wild scored on their first power play chance, the last three Prince George has been able to kill off. Chase Ruddy sends it off the left wall and it rattles through center. And that's going to go the length of the ice. And the icing will bring the face-off back down into the Spruce King zone off to my left. And it'll be Jasper Weatherby who will step in to take the draw. He lines up across from Blake Hayward. Puck came over to Souter, but tried to get a shot. It was partially deflected away. As the fans roaring here. Picked up by Vanderbeck over on the far side. Gets smacked back down low. Wild fans getting the wave going on here in Town Toyota Center. Angled back through center. Chipped up. Played for a minute by Weatherby and then slapped back ahead, where it'll be chased down by Kent and moved over to Modry on the left wing boards. Modry ahead for Weatherby, and he'll drive it in. DeBrouwer stops it back behind the net and slings it over for Ruddy. Chase Ruddy comes up through center, snaps it ahead. Broken up by Golambus. And then moved ahead. Welsh tries to get it down to the Wild zone. Wozniak twists it back out. And here comes Arnold. Arnold up the left side. Delayed penalty coming against the Spruce Kings as Hovde comes back, gathers control, and hooking is the call. And Wenatchee going back on the man advantage at 16:02 of the second period. So Hovde goes to the box. And off the draw inside the Prince George zone. Hops past Golambus out to center. And so Zek will chase it down. Wenatchee moving up through center with a pass on the right side. Golambus drives it in. DeBrouwer will stop it. Slung back up the wall. Held in Golambus right point. He hacks at it. Then Morton feeds it over to Zek. Zek, he's in his shot, and that gets tipped just wide. And played by Morton. He chips it down to the corner for Weatherby. Battle continues there over the left side of DeBrouwer. Still tied up on the wall. Trying to extract it was Morton. Souter throws it back to Zek. Zek cuts to his left. His shot just up over the crossbar. And then swept by Weatherby back across to Morton. Morton threads it through, and a tip by Souter just goes off the pad of DeBrouwer. And then back over for Zek. He drifts to the midpoint. Top of the far circle, Morton. He shoots, and a save made. And DeBrouwer hangs on. And we'll get another face-off inside the Prince George zone. 52 seconds left in the penalty to Hovde. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the second period. Bouncing puck off the draw and trickles just out to center, so Wenatchee has to regroup. Poisson swats it back into the Wenatchee end. And Park will tee it up there for Slava Demon. Demon over on the far side. Poke checked away. Here comes Ruddy. Short-handed and shot off the post. And up out of play. Comes bouncing back down. And the Wild come away with it. Play continues. Snapped over for Stratton on the right wing. He's in. Hits the brakes. And swings it around. And Vanderbeck will play it in the left corner. Vanderbeck cycles it back down low, and hustling after it was Stratton. But that's going to get pitchforked out through center. Goes the length of the ice, and still a few seconds left on the power play. So Demon comes back to play it, and Prince George back at full and even strength. Boy, a huge opportunity there as Ruddy has had 2 breakaways in this series. Here's Arnold on the far side. Give and go. Backhander just missed. On the near side, Hayward knocks it back out to center, but getting there first was Zek. Back into the zone as it's touched by Arnold. They'll blow that down for offside against Wenatchee. And so a face-off with $1:39 to go here in period number 2. The breakaway Ruddy had in Prince George actually ended up in a goal. Although his initial rush was thwarted. May have shot it wide on his own, but he threw it back out in front. And Ethan DeYoung was able to knock it home. And that was a shorthanded chance as well, as I recall. Puck sent back down into the Wenatchee zone. Galambos moves it over to Zek. Banked up the wall, hacked at by Souter, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Patrick Causey back to play it. Moved over for Ahak, and that offering through center will be errant, and it turns into an icing call against Prince George with 1:17 to go. Off the draw to the right point, played by Galambos. He sends it down low to Iannone. Iannone from the near corner. Waits, shot from a tough angle, ripples off the outside of the twine. Gathered by Morton back behind the net. Morton stick handles, waits, drops it off. And played by Von Unger and Sternberg. He stick handles in the near corner. Met there by Hayward, though. And then Spruce Kings able to muscle it back out to center. Now to Zek. Zek tried to pitch it ahead. Lee tangled Zek up. Causey can't get around Galambos. And the Wild back the other way. Von Unger and Sternberg fires it deep inside the Prince George zone, and they'll pick it up there. From behind the net, Karanen sends a long pass. It was intended for Johnson, misses the mark, and they blow it down for icing. Johnson protesting, saying that he made contact. Now the officials are going to huddle about it. Referee points to center ice. So Prince George wins the argument. 27.6 seconds left in the middle frame. Vanderbeek swats it over to the far boards, and it gets hacked down inside the Wild zone. Played by Demon. Moved ahead. Souter got it into the zone, broken up. Souter throws it right back in as the Wild tag up. Well, it appeared they had tagged up, but it's going to get launched out to center again and then picked up by DeYoung. He comes into the zone. Shot tried there by Johnson. Unsuccessful, and that'll bring us to the horn, signaling the end of our second period of play. With the Wild, with the only goal of the game coming just 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the contest. And that's the one that still stands as the difference in the game. The power play goal from Zach Galambos. His 8th of the playoffs. And that's where we stand after 2 periods here in Game 5 of the BCHL Fred Page Cup Finals. Shots on goal that period, 14-4 in favor of the Wild, as they've now outshot Prince George 27-7, but they lead by a scant margin of 1-0. We'll step away for a break. We'll come back with a recap of that period, the game to date, total travel out of town scoreboard, and more. As your intermission report is on the way next here on your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network. It's that time, folks. Third period action. The Wenatchee Wild with a 1-goal lead. And in just a moment, it'll be time to play minute to win it. For the first 60 seconds of the third period, if the Wild score a goal in that 60 seconds, then an entire section of fans will win a free pizza from Domino's. So you'll hear this place rocking and rolling as it's bursting at the seams here tonight. The Wild will be moving from left to right. Sam Hessler's line to draw. And off we go. Puck played by Prince George in their own end. Chase Ruddy lobs it out through center. Puck bounces down, played by Stratton. Moved back down inside the Spruce King zone, and Ruddy will chase it down. Forecheck pressure from Stratton. Banked off the wall, comes out to center, swept in by Dorsey. And the Wild get a quick change in. Ruddy plays it back behind his net, and half a minute has run off. Now Ruddy steps out, and behind the back dish is for Karan, and over on the far side, lobbed up through center, and batted out of midair, played next by Weatherby. And now to Vanderbeck. Vanderbeck makes sure he gets it out to center, and then backhands it in. Down inside the Prince George zone. So the minute to win it expires. Prince George up through center, poke checked away. Delayed offside, they'll tag up. And then fired ahead, tipped by Souter deep into the Prince George zone. Watson Braun plays it there, sets up back behind his net. Sends a pass over on the right side and then back over for Poisson. Poisson comes in, throws it back out in front, swatted away, and held in for a moment. Knocked aside and pushed back across by Demon. He gets it ahead for Iannone on the left wing. Iannone absorbs the check, still manages to force it in deep, picked up there by Hessler. And then Hessler fanned on his crossing pass. Poisson gets it hacked off his blade. Stratton gloves and then snaps it right back in. The Wild defending the goal to my left here in this period. Spruce Kings work it up on the far side. And Dorsey breaks it up, crossing feed, intercepted, and Stratton has it. Then to Dorsey, back to Stratton. Stratton on the far side, threads it through, pad save made. Big spongy rebound collected by the Spruce Kings, and they're back up through center. Hovde loses it to Galambos. Then zipped across for Zek over on the left side. Zek feathers it in gently, and the Wild get a change in. Puck drilled the length of the ice, but no one connected. And so that's going to be an icing call against Prince George, back down to that end of the ice with 17:27 on the clock here in your third period. Weatherby will take the draw. Gets it down low for Vanderbeck. He goes back behind the net, spins it back to Souter. Souter slapped off his blade, but Weatherby's there to help out. Weatherby keeps it on the backhand and then spins to the forehand. Press to the end wall. Double team there. Souter in to help out. Squirts it loose. And played by Vanderbeck up high to Sasaki. Backdoor Vanderbeck shoots, and he ripped it just wide. Back to Sasaki at the right point. Sent down low. Weatherby to Vanderbeck, and his spin around backhander is kicked aside by DeBrouwer. Ahak looks to move it up the wall, goes off the body of Vanderbeck. And then chipped by DeYoung out through center, or Lee rather. It'll be chased down by Sasaki in his own end. Back ahead for Vanderbeck, and as he tried to tip it into the zone, sails up into the seats instead over in section 110. And so we'll get a face-off with 16:39 on the clock here in your third period. Morton to draw against Johnson. Squirts loose. Johnson able to jam it down the left wing boards in deep. And Galambos flicks it across for Zek, and the Wild get it out to center. From open ice, launched back in, and Park leaves it for Zek, then picked up on the left side. Zek will use the glass, Clear it out to center. Johnson tried to play it, but lost it to Iannone. He'll fire it in and then head off on a change. Long pass ahead is for Ben Brar. He backhands it down to the Wenatchee zone, and Modry flicks it around where it's collected by Arnold over on the left side. Arnold chips it off the boards for Hessler. He'll dump it off the left wing boards and race to the end boards and then get it over for Stratton. Back to Hessler. Down below the line, back over for a cycling Stratton. Stratton touches it off the wall, and Ahak comes into control. And then chipped across. Arnold fights for it. Ahak steps through, comes away with it, but then he's boxed out by Stratton. Still deep inside the Prince George zone. Weatherby wants to fight for it. Gets it on the forehand. Spins away, knock off his blade by Ruddy into the opposite corner. Getting there first once again was Weatherby. He gets toppled, he gets punched away. Souter to help, back to the left point. Offered by Modry down to the corner, and then Vanderbeek sweeps it around. Weatherby slides it out front. Jammed back into the right corner, though, by Prince George. And at the half boards, tied up there. Back down low. Souter tried to get to it, but Spruce Kings able to knock it back out to center. Welsh chips it across for Kazi, but he can't get through Modry. Nicholas Kent's there, and he'll feed it to Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek steps up through center, got swatted at by Anhorn, but Vanderbeek recovers and sweeps it deep inside the Prince George end. And they'll set up shop back behind their net. 14:35 to go here in the third period. Still a one-goal lead for Wenatchee. The only goal coming 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Spruce Kings looking to come out of their own end. Pass ahead is for Poisson. Broken up, chiseled by Sasaki for a moment. Then moved back ahead for Hayward. Tries to get it to Poisson. That gets broken up. Von Ungern Sternberg takes off on the left wing with it. He's into the zone, gets a step, and then poke checked away by Karanen. He stays with it, looks to cycle it down low. Gets broken up, held in Hessler. Hessler throws it off the back boards. Collected there by Anhorn. And there's going to be a penalty coming against the Spruce Kings. Chongmin Lee will go to the box. Power play chance for Wenatchee with 13:55 on the clock. It's a huge opportunity here for the Wild in a one-goal hockey game. Face off inside the Prince George zone. It's going to be Weatherby with Morton to his right, Souter to his left. Zek and Galambos are back. And as the puck drops, one of the linesmen blows a whistle, so we'll try it again. Wild win the draw as Souter pushes it back to Zek. Zek sharply down on the right wing corner for Weatherby, up high Morton once again. Morton creeps down to the bottom of the circle, cycles it, one touch pass across, shot, score! Zach Galambos does it again. Unloading on the one-timer from below in the left circle. The one-touch pass across to him, and he unloaded. Rips it behind to Brower. The Wild now lead it 2-0. Took 14 seconds to cash it in. For Zach Galambos, his second of the night, 9th of the playoffs. Stratton chases it down on the left corner. Hessler in to try to help out. Punched loose and then picked up by Brar. Brar wraps it off the glass. Played by Sasaki over for Dorsey. Dorsey wraps it off the glass, but that's going to be an icing call. And the Wild unable to get the line change in. So his 9th goal of the playoffs. 4th goal of the series. And the Wild now lead by 2. Off the draw, played by Dorsey, and he'll bank it off the wall back out to center. And then Poisson on the left wing wall, moves it ahead. Chip down low, Kazi backhands it around. Poisson throws it back to Ruddy at the far wall. And then broken up, and here come the Wild in a 2-on-1 developing. It's going to be Vanderbeck, who cuts across up in the high slot. Can't get the shot, spins, throws it off the side of the net. And the rebound will careen back out to center, helped along by Poisson. Kent plays it back in his own zone, a crossover for Modry. Modry, second attempt. Tried to fire it ahead for Souter, misfired. Recovered, and then Souter tipped it in deep. Almost stolen away on the back wall by Morton, but Anhorn's able to get it, and he'll get flushed out. Anhorn slides it up front. Hayward moves ahead and then chipped back. Modry gets to it and knocks it out of his reach. Nolan Welsh wants to center. Still pressed against the end wall and extracted by Sam Morton. Morton moves it up the boards, tried to get a little help from Von Ungern Sternberg. Instead it'll be Modry. Ooh, Morton gets hit from behind there. Fans look for a call that doesn't come. It rattles out through center. Intended to spring Von Ungern Sternberg. That's broken up. Knocked back out to center. Swatted away. Hovde has it over in the corner. Got Modry draped all over his tail. But the offering from Hovde is going to be intercepted by Stratton. Stratton cuts hard to his right. Works it deep into the corner. Hits the brakes there and then swings it around. Ethan DeYoung can't play it. Shot taken from the point is patted away by DeBrouwer as Zek let her rip. Then Hessler fires it down low for Dorsey. Dorsey on the end boards. Leaves it for Stratton. Angled back, left boards, Hessler. Back to Stratton again, thinks about it, up high for Zek. His shot gets blocked, and it's a 3-on-3 back the other direction. 2-on-3 as Hovde peels away. Johnson twists it down in deep. DeYoung backhands it across, and then Brar throws it back to Anhorn. Anhorn tries to step away from Stratton on the far wall, moves it down low into the corner. Brar using his long reach, throws it back around out of the reach of DeYoung. Then Hessler comes up with it, cranks it around, and Anhorn can't get there in time to hold it onside. He waits and then comes over across on the near side, gets it into the zone. Checked off the play by Dorsey, and the Wild able to move it back out to center. 2-0 Wenatchee leads it. We're down to 10.5 to go as the Wild play it in their own end. Golambus with both goals in the contest. Gets it ahead for Weatherby, but then not out of the zone. Send back down low. Patrick Kazi on the backboards plays it. His future teammate, Chad Sasaki, as they will both play college hockey at Colorado College. Knocked ahead now for Vanderbeck. Vanderbeck in, cuts across to the right. Spin, tried to throw it out in front for Souter. Gets it back, dishes to Sasaki. He cuts across, threaded through for Weatherby. It was on his backhand. He tried to pull it to the forehand. Instead, he'll carry it in the corner. Now gets a little help from Vanderbeck. Swatted away by Ruddy, and over to help out is Von Ungern Sternberg. Dustin Manns comes in, knocks it back out to center. Chung Min Lee bumped there. And now Ruddy comes away with it, and he'll step up through center. Throws it off the left boards, rolls in deep. Back to the end boards, and waiting for it there is Demon. Moved across, picked up by Iannone. Iannone's feed is for Von Ungern Sternberg, left side. He's in. Wrap around, instead he'll hang on to it. Curls over to the near side. From the point, bangs it off the right wing wall. In deep, where it's going to be handled by Hessler. Hessler tied up there. Bouncing puck. Kicked across, and the Spruce Kings with it. Poisson gets it out to center, flicks it by Demon, but Cooper Zek will use the body to protect, and then slingshots out from behind the net with it. Zek doubles back, gets a little help from Demon. Demon comes out, looks up, snaps it ahead, tipped by Arnold down inside in the zone. Tries to hop in around Kyle Johnson, and as it pops loose, it's picked up and played by the Spruce Kings. Ahead for Brar. Brar bangs it ahead, but Golambus breaks that opportunity up, and Prince George will have to regroup back in their own end. Forecheck pressure from Stratton. Tried to dish back from Weatherby. He throws a check, but Brar will grab the loose puck. Over to the right side, DeYoung forced wide by Zek, who picks it off his blade. And Lucas Souter will take off with it. Souter throws it by Watson Braun. He gets stripped up, plows into the zone, and picked up by Prince George as they come back through. Stolen by Vanderbeck. He's back the other way. His shot, low and wide blocker side. Kazi hacks at it, can't clear. Held in Modry. Shot blocked. Rebound to Morton. That one offering just goes wide. Morton gets the rebound off the backboards. Has it on the backhand, throws it to the point for Modry. Threaded through to Vanderbeck. Shot by Von Ungern. Sternberg denied by DeBrouwer. Held in now by Morton, and he got it back to Vanderbeck. Now it's out the center. Vanderbeck will just send it in. Fans roaring approval for that great shift. Overskated by Watson Braun, and then forecheck pressure applied by Hessler. Over on the far wall, Hovde overskated it for a moment. In and out across the line. Watson Braun, he runs into trouble. And now we're going to get a penalty as the puck frozen up against the boards, but we got an interference call, I think, coming against Wenatchee. And Sam Hessler is going to be escorted across. So time of this call, 12 minutes, 36 seconds. So a power play chance coming for Prince George. They trail by 2. Back to the point. Shot taken there, loose in front. Picked up and cleared successfully by Sasaki. Spruce Kings coming out of their own end. Pass up the middle. Flicked over to Ben Brar. He comes into the zone. Throws it across on the far side. And sent back around behind. As Johnson throws it back to Ahak. Then to Johnson, but that's centering feet. Gloved and dropped. And mishandled at the point by DeYoung. And Prince George gets back on side as Ahak steps into the zone, leaves it for Brar. Brar throws it off the left wing boards down low. Ahak gets met there. Comes back up top to the point. Brar's shot goes up high over the glass, or over the net, off the glass. Stays in play. DeYoung over in the far corner with one hand. Gets it back for Ahak. He spins it over for Johnson. Johnson on the near wall. Stops, hits the brakes. Cuts across, throws it over top of the far circle. Back to Johnson midpoint. He cranks his shot, blocked on the way through. And a clearing attempt will be carried out by Von Ungern Sternberg. He passes to himself, gets around Ahak. Can't catch back up with the pass. And Ahak will be able to gain control of it back in his own end. And Prince George will set up back behind their net. 2-0 Wenatchee leads it. They're on a penalty kill for another half a minute. Here's Kazi coming into the zone. His pass across, broken up and played by Galambus. He'll knock that out through center. And Liam Watson Braun collects there for the Spruce Kings. He'll step up through the neutral zone. It's broken up by Zek, and then to Stratton. He will successfully clear. And as DeBrouwer knocks it down back in his end, the penalty to Hessler will run off the clock, and we'll be back at full and even strength. Anhorn throws it over to the right side. Kazi fanned on his attempt, and it's taken by Arnold. Here he goes the other way. Arnold's got help with Zek driving the net. Saucer pass to Zek. He shoots, and it went off the pipe. High on the corner, another shot, and that's turned aside by DeBrouwer. Boy, a gorgeous dish from Arnold to Cooper Zek as the trailer stepping up into the rush. And he fired that one off the crossbar, high on the blocker side. That brings us to our media timeout. We'll step away for half a minute, 5:08 left to go. And the Wenatchee Wild leading it 2-0. Back after this on your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network. I'd like to give a happy birthday shout out, even though he'll never hear it today. But Kellen Manhart, who is normally the board operator for the majority of the games that we air here on Sunny FM, celebrating his birthday today, so he and his wife are here at the game. Nice change for him, so happy birthday to Kellen. Playback underway here, and it's down inside the Prince George zone. Wenatchee in the home white uniforms. They're moving left to right. Puck fluttered ahead up on the right side. Chongmin Lee was there, but taken away, and Vanderbeek will just launch it right back down. And the Spruce Kings will play it in their own end. 2-0 Wild lead it. Third period. Pass through center, tipped ahead, broken up by Demon. Then to Von Unger and Sternberg, and he'll throw it off the right wing boards. Sam Morton pursues, but they're going to blow that down for icing. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is your Wenatchee Wild Playoff Hockey Network.
You're listening to Sunny FM, KCSY Twist. Your home for Wenatchee Wild Hockey.
Inside the Wild zone to the blocker side of Austin Park. Sam Morton takes the draw, wins it cleanly into the corner, and Demon, or rather Sasaki, swings it around. Demon there. Chiseled away, and Nathan Iannone gets it, but as he tried to clear it, ended up putting it either into the Wild bench or up into the seats. So instead of successfully running some time off, that ends up bringing the face-off back down inside the Wenatchee zone. But because it went over the short glass, they are allowed a change. Into the corner over the left shoulder of Park. Battle continues, moved up the wall slightly by Hessler. Then Zek skies it out through center, and it's going to be chased down by Arnold. Arnold in, left side, he's in, he shoots, and a save made to Brower. Hovde whacks it back out through center, kicked ahead by Galambus, and then to Stratton, who sends it off the right wing boards in deep. DeBrouwer stops it there, 3:45 to go. Ruddy spins and banks it out through the neutral zone. Cooper Zek is there. He'll swing it over to Galambus. Then back ahead out through center, chipped down into the Wild zone, but getting there first is Weatherby. He banks it off the wall and back to the right point, and held in there by Prince George. Slapped down low, loose in front, and then kicked away. Handled by A.J. Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek over to Weatherby, and he's content to chisel it in deep and get a quick change in once again, as we're down to 3:10 left to go in the third period, and Wenatchee leading it by a score of 2-0. Pass ahead broken up by Von Unger and Sternberg, and then right back the other direction. Here comes Ethan DeYoung. DeYoung forced wide by Sasaki. Morton comes in, knocks it aside, the net empty at the other end of the ice. The extra attacker on for Prince George. Puck squirts loose. Anhorn for the Spruce Kings. Across, shot, glove, save made by Park. A huge stop by Austin Park. Prince George with the extra skater on, their net empty. And Dustin Manns let that shot rip, but Austin Park made a huge glove save, and the fans roar their approval. And a timeout being taken. And we'll keep it right here as they do. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go. With that ever so perilous 2-goal lead. Doesn't take long for those to evaporate if you're not careful. I'm pretty sure Bliss Littler and his crew are going to make sure that, if anything, they're careful. Well, something's got to give. The Prince George Spruce Kings are 5-0 in elimination games. The Wenatchee Wild are undefeated on home ice, so one of those two will continue, and one of those two will come to an end tonight. So here we go. The net empty at the Prince George end. Chiseled out through center by Zach, and it won't go deep enough for icing. Well done. And the Wild try to flick it out front. Weatherby gets tangled up, and Spruce Kings want to move it ahead, but battling for it. It's going to be Vanderbeek, who muscles it just in across the line and throws it at the empty net. He scores! The captain A.J. Vanderbeck. Wenatchee, can you feel it? An empty net goal from A.J. Vanderbeck. His 13th of the playoffs. His 6th goal of this series. Wenatchee with a 3-0 lead is 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from a title. Bouncing puck back inside the Wenatchee zone. Fired around back behind the net. Puck play by Galambus. He'll spin it around. Zach to Arnold. He got it out to center. Spruce Kings will play it there. Slater steps up on the left wing. Poked off his blade by Galambus. Spinning and thrown at the net. Off the end wall. It's picked up there by Souter. Souter gets tripped up, but then here's Vanderbeck. He finds the loose puck. Comes into the zone. Waits. His shot glove saved to Brower. And he'll hang on. We're down to 1:26. Weatherby gets credit for the assist. Got 1:26 left to go. Face off inside the Prince George zone. Wild with a centering feed, comes bouncing down. Nicholas Kent comes down from the right side, sends it back around into the corner. Ethan DeYoung had it, lost it, comes out to center. Ben Brar plays it. Moved ahead and swatted out to center by the glove hand of Jacob Modry. Picked up next by the Spruce Kings. They'll send it in deep. Modry plays it hard around. Von Ungern Sternberg spins it back out through center. We're into the final minute. Everyone here on their feet. Spruce Kings move it ahead to Hovde. And now to Hayward, dropped off for Cunningham, who we have not called his name the entire series, I don't believe. Puck punched away by Morton. Here he comes, gets tangled up, and pushes the puck just wide of the net into the right wing corner. 20 seconds left. And puck rattles out the center, and we get a whistle with 13 seconds left. And the Wild hopping up and down on the bench. 10 seasons, 2 ownerships, 2 leagues, 3 head coaches, and one very special group of athletes that grew together to become a team. Wenatchee, you are home to an ice hockey champion. Your Wenatchee Wild are the BCHL 2018 Fred Page Cup champions. For the first time since 1979, the Fred Page Cup comes stateside. The Bellingham Blazers won it that year. And now, Wenatchee brings it to U.S. soil. Zach Galambus with a pair of power play goals. A.J. Vanderbeck with the empty netter. 3-0 your final score. The Wenatchee Wild are the BCHL Fred Page Cup champions. And they will await the winner of the AJHL's Interpipeline Cup. And that series will open here next weekend.